So, 49-minute session, you have seen 22 runs being hit by Australia, but they have lost David Warner cheaply. And I think this is the last few embers that we have seen of David Warner's Test career. He did say that he wanted a retirement from Tests after 2024 Pakistan, Sydney, but I think that may not be happening. But on the other hand, you've seen Usman Khwaja and Marnus Labuschagne survive some testing overs from
Labuschagne in particular was getting absolutely tested by Siraj.
And remember, he fell down. And remember, there is a very embarrassing dismissal of Marnus Labuschagne. Remember, he walked across to Stuart Broad, tried to work him to fine leg. He slipped and on all fours, he just fell flat. So it's one of the top 10 funny dismissals in cricket history. So Labuschagne is like a cat on a hot tin roof at this time. If he has to adopt anything from his master, it's just that you have to bat sensibly. And we are joined by Nikhil from the Oval. Hi Nikhil, can you hear us?
I don't think he can.
Again.
No.
Again?
No, he can't hear.
I think we are still facing those issues, Nikhil, audio issues. Well, then we'll get back to Nikhil
in a bit, but
in a bit.
Yeah, I think for Australia, I think Warner was the one weak link we expected, really. And that's how it proves so far. Khwaja survived a few tricky ones, as did Labuschagne.
Hanji, sir.
I think we can hear him now.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear Nikhil now, but can he hear us?
I think that's the problem.
Nikhil, can you hear us? No, we still can't hear. I mean, there's a big issue that we have got at this time here. This feeder, I think, has a technical glitch that we are trying to sort out, because we can see Nikhil. Nikhil can probably hear us, but he cannot hear us speaking. So, big problem that we are facing now. So, let's see. There is extra bounce, agreed. There is uneven bounce, not extra bounce. There's uneven bounce. Some are keeping low, some have. So it's not going to be easy. Whatever total, and remember, you now have another 45 overs today, or 40 overs. How many overs you bowled? 12.
Yeah.
You've got 44 overs plus 90 plus 90. You've got 222 overs left still in this match. So it is, Nikhil, again, I think that issue is still persisting. So can you hear me now?
I can hear you via a very different connection. So not ideally the way I would have liked to have heard you, but I'm getting to hear you from a different connection. Just give me 10 more seconds, guys. I'm just trying to sort out something.
Alright, so as Nikhil tries to sort some stuff out, yeah,
can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you, but I'm hearing you via something else. If you just come to me in 20 seconds, I'm trying to sort out something.
Alright.
Okay.
Just for now, keep things between us, and we'll try and see if, this can be hopefully sorted.
Okay.
So and as Cricketers Fun points out, this extra bounce, I wouldn't say extra, but inconsistent, as you pointed out, definitely. It's not quite that easy to bat, and I'm not so sure it's going to ease out now. I think it's probably going to get more difficult, especially considering the cracks we saw on the pitch. Definitely not going to ease out, I feel.
Okay, so the problem is also you're seeing the keeper standing up now to the stumps. That means not much of pace. There is not much of pace at all on this deck, which is why it is going to be difficult. Lion will come into play a lot more in the 4th day and on the 5th day as well. So it's not going to be easy taking the remaining 10 wickets if you get your eye in here, because Australia will want to bat at least another 80 to 90 overs and then put India in with 1 hour of, say, the third session of day 4.
Yeah.
That will be the key, because they don't want to give even a slight opening to India. Rain permitting, I mean, there is threats of rain on day 4 and day 5, although it might happen later in the day as we speak. So that is the situation at this point, but still tough on this wicket, isn't it? With the new ball, batting is tough. isn't it? When the ball gets a bit soft, then I think batting becomes easier. What do you think?
I think the kind of bounce that we had yesterday, because look at how fast we've lost those wickets, because there was a lot of unexpected bounce over there when the Australians had come in and have we joined, Nikhil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you guys now, but yeah, I hope you can see me as well.
Yeah, we can. Everything is
We
good.
can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now go ahead.
Yeah. So
I found an alternative way
Yep.
of connecting. It's not via the video, so I'm connected via a different phone, so I can hear you from a different source, but you can see me from a different source.
Yep. So Nikhil, I was just saying, with this 173 run lead now that Australia have, plus this 23 more, do you think whatever advantage India might have gotten with those wickets of with Shardul Thakur and Ajinkya Rahane hanging in there, do you think now with that 173 run lead, has that advantage been nullified slightly?
So I don't think it's moved anywhere else from where it was after the runs that Ajinkya Rahane and Shardul Thakur when they got those runs. Because the kind of runs that they got, I thought that if you were to take them to a lead of about 2 figures, that would have been ideal. India did not get there. So if you've conceded a lead of 173, then it's pretty much in the sense the game is exactly where it was at that time. I don't think the 20 odd runs that Australia have got now has made any difference. I don't think India were at any stage in an advantageous position. They were in a position where they could have taken advantage, which is why when we were talking during lunchtime, I had said that we need to be cautious about getting a little too excited right now, because while India was slowly and gradually getting towards a position of advantage, they hadn't really got there. So I guess under the circumstances where they were, end of day 251 for 5, to have conceded a lead of 173, I think was, it was the slight positive. India would have wanted to have done better, but I think they'll take it. What that means is Australia hold all the aces. They are in driver's seat at the moment. All they need to get is maybe another 200 runs, and that makes the target almost unchaseable, because the target goes to about 373, which rarely ever happens in a test match.
Yep.
Exceptional circumstances. So that's where they are. I mean, the only way India wins this test match is, let's say, if they do manage to restrict them to 200 and then play out of their skins, baseball style. Penn, Stokes and all had done it to India, so we know that can be done. If you play that way, chase it, that's another thing. Or you have a spectacular bowling performance where you manage to pick up those early and knock them off at 150, which I don't see happening. Yeah, you could bowl well. 200 would be, I think, a more realistic target to look at, holding them out around that much. But anything less than that would be miraculous.
Nikhil, do you think that the wicket today, day 3, the sun has been beating down really, really hard on this wicket. Now, when we saw the Australians bowl with a rather older ball, do you think that the seam movement, the movement in the air, as well as the pace, it just disappears when the ball gets older, and that the new ball is the only period wherein you can get that much of purchase?
It's interesting. So I'll tell you what has happened. Sometimes it happens when the sun really comes down on the pitch and it's baking under the sun, as it has been doing for the last 3 days. Sometimes you see that nip or that zip in the deliveries, right? It shoots off the pitch. I think you've seen that on a few occasions here. It does happen with the sun beating down. I think that has happened. That awkward bounce. Sometimes you get the likes that you see Cummins get, that sort of purchase, a Siraj. So that's all that you will get from the pitch. I think it's a pitch where you need to apply yourself. There's not too much lateral movement that is worrying. There's some seam movement off the pitch that you have to guard against. And I think if you're technically solid, I think that's the key word. If you're technically solid, you have all the weapons that you need in a test match scenario, you can get runs here. You also need to be gritty, which I think is one thing that you see in abundance as far as most Indian batsmen are concerned. So I don't think that's a problem. But if you do not have any glaring issues technically, I don't think it should be much of a problem to get runs in.
Okay, Nikhil, there was one very hilarious moment when David Warner was batting and he got out. There was an epic scream at the oval because a wicket had fallen. Marnus Labuschagne was actually sleeping and he suddenly woke up and then decided to switch on and then come on to bat. Now, what is it about Marnus Labuschagne? What do you interpret that? Is it calmness? Is it like, okay, he's in control of the situation, or was he literally caught napping?
No, I don't know. I don't know whether he was napping or whether you know this, right? That he meditates.
Yes.
And that he takes and he does visualize and he closes his eyes and forgets about really what's happening around. That's one way of getting your thoughts together, ignoring the surroundings, people cheering or not. So I don't know. I'll have to wait and watch. But I'm more inclined to be thinking that he was really meditating, getting ready to go out and bat. And he needs that. Got hit by Mohammad Siraj, and then the usual Mohammad Siraj stare also followed from there. But I guess Marnus Labuschagne, that's no sign that he's not going to get runs, because quite often you do see him being a bit scratchy, him getting hit, but then he finds a way to get runs from there on. So I don't know. I'm not sure if he was napping. You can't possibly nap. It's so tough. It's tough to get your body to relax and go off to sleep. Otherwise, in a test match, let alone when you're going to be going out to bat. And we know that he's not one of the most calmest guys. Huh? He's always anxious, always up and about, always shadow practicing. So I, for one, can't believe that he was napping. I think I'm more inclined to him meditating.
Yeah.
So, Nikhil sir, I had a question, and this is something I want to discuss. Yesterday, when Australia were bowling, there was a lot of, coming off of the pitch, there was a lot of unexpected bounce.
Bye guys.
And now that India is bowling, we're sort of looking at a much more duller pitch. Is it the pitch that's changed drastically, or is it really just the Australian bowling lineup's brilliance that's coming into play here?
So I would think, Gargi, it's the latter. It's the brilliance of the Australian bowling lineup. I think they got their lens spot on. Also, we had discussed this earlier, the height that they have, and that has been of some sort of assistance to, even if it's not a wicket-taking delivery, those deliveries with that height are sometimes the one that cast some doubts in the batsman's mind, and then eventually lead to a wicket-taking delivery. So I think it's more of Australians bowling better on this pitch. I can't believe that India gets the wrong end of the stick, because you've already seen Australia back twice here. So you've kind of seen now India bowl twice. It can't happen that on both occasions that India got conditions where batting was slightly easier for Australia. I don't think that happens. I have multiple facts.
Yes, I'm a big fan of this one. I think the return was the best thing to get you. You have been.
I didn't pay him to say that.
Yes, he did. And I used to watch Sports, which I also did. But I end up watching it because Sports Today and more than Sports, which is very strange, because I'm subscribed to both of them, by the way. Those two guys that you have in the studio, amazing. One is the CSK fan, I know that.
Yes, Siddharth.
Yeah, I've been watching. So, well done, guys. I'm absolutely very impressed with everybody. Especially Nikhil, watched all the World Cup when you went to Australia.
Yes.
The thing is, we are in England, right? So, always used to watch those videos late and one. Of course, I can watch the live one, but brilliant the way you played. I think picnic, lunch with picnic or something.
Yes.
Started.
Picnic with picnic.
Picnic with picnic, which was amazing. Yes. So, brilliant. Yes.
Okay, what do you make of the match?
Wow. Okay, good question. So, I think we started on the wrong foot. I've always felt, even if you compare with the last WTC finalists, I think we lost from our mind. That's what the problem is. Okay. We don't select the right team, unfortunately. I think we should have batted first. First 1 hour, I agree it was tough. But then it would have got easy, because you see the sun, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's very hot here. Right? This is not normal English weather, to be honest. I live in. I live in.
These are very rare days.
Exactly. Tomorrow's 29 degrees here. That's crazy. Like they'll be warning it that it's very hot. I'm already getting the messages. Hot weather warning. I mean,
Should I come with my shorts?
Oh, you should come with it. Absolutely, with a big hand. So that was one thing. I think we are too scared because we thought we were going to open, the ball will be moving and we'll lose the match on day one. So that's why they took the easier way. That will goal for. That's number one. Number two is, and I've heard you guys so many of. I think Rahane is playing after 2021, right?
Yes.
And the fact of the matter was, Rahane was not playing very well. Then he was dropped out and suddenly he brought back. And he's the best batsman, right? That means Rahane will be playing for at least another 5, 6, 7 test match, right? And that always has been the case. Same was with Pujara. Remember? He played one good inning and he was gone. Everyone was going after him. Get him out. And then Pujara made another good inning and then he played out. Problem is, we play with them. Okay? Courses or courses, we have to be very strict. Guys are performing not consistently. They have one inning doesn't matter. That's the most important. I am a little disappointed with Rohit Sharma's captaincy also, to be very honest. I don't think that it was up to the mark. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is, cannot win a test match without taking 20 wickets. Let's be honest, right? Okay. No matter how good your batting lineup is, you have the best batters in the world. You cannot win a test match if you don't have the bowling lineup to take the 20 wickets. So hand on our heart, if you have the bowling lineup to take 20 wickets. Let's be honest, right?
Maybe you could have gone with 2 spinners, but what's your name?
My name is Varun.
Varun, thank you so much for summing up the game for us. It was lovely meeting you.
Lovely meeting.
And I must say that what Varun's done here is exactly echoed what most fans are feeling. I can understand fans being emotional. I can understand that fans being hurt because, they've been waiting for that ICC trophy for a very long time. This time as well, it seems like another one is slipping away. There are plenty of issues. Maybe we'll discuss that going forward on Sports Today in terms of your team selection, what your future needs to be. Questions need to be asked of Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma as well. If India lose, so that's been a problem. And all of us do support the Indian team, but if you keep making those mistakes again and again, then probably questions need to be asked. And when everyone has come under scrutiny, to be fair, Virat Kohli came under scrutiny, Ravi Shastri has come under scrutiny. I think the same sort of standards need to be followed for the current management as well. But Varun, thank you so much.
Thank you. Just one last thing on that.
Yeah.
I know in more programs only, there are Rohitians and Viratians and everything.
Yes.
Especially that happens in IPL.
Yes.
People have been abusive, which I am not support. But I think that's why IPL, at the end of the day, we are Indian fans. And we want all of them to succeed, no matter what. So people there are some, obviously, some exceptions. Yes. But overall, we all want them to succeed, isn't it? We want our Indian team to succeed. And unfortunately, we put them, make them gods, right? And here we are. So we basically are suffering because of that. We have to be straight up. We have to reward performance, no matter who that person is. That's what we want.
Okay, super.
Thank you, Nikhil.
One message. Take care. One message, huh? Get rid of that Viratians and Rohitians. Get rid of it. You want the betterment of Indian cricket? Horses for courses is what he says. I think that's the mantra. Very well summed up. Over to you guys.
Well summed up indeed. And so this is the last session coming up of day 3. Australia will be really hoping that they can get through this session unscathed and take the lead near to 300.
Very crucial session coming up.
I didn't say that. But Nikhil, before you sign off, I just wanted to know, about 12 years ago, Sachin Tendulkar was dropped a couple of times. He was nearing that 100th 100, but he got out on 91. Ajinkya Rahane, 2 years later, makes a comeback to the test team. He's on 89, a fairy tale and not so unlucky 13th loading, but he gets out to a brilliant catch by Cameron Green. What was the mood then at the Oval at that time? Was there a pall of gloom like, oh no, what has happened?
Yeah. It was. It just went quiet. Again, it's boisterous, loud, very energetic crowd, and in fact, I felt it too, that disappointment. Because imagine, everything has been downhill for India since that first over was bowled in day 1. It's been one-way traffic, Australia dominating, and suddenly you have a ray of hope in Ajinkya Rahane making a comeback, hitting some glorious extra cover drives, looking good for 100. We all discussed in the press box that this is coming. And then he gets out against the run of play. But you remember when we discussed it during lunchtime, I'd said that that first 10-15 minutes are going to be crucial if they can go past it. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be. That break came at the wrong time. Maybe a few runs here and there, when he got his 100, would have been a different approach when he came out to bat after lunch. Wasn't to be. Crowd was really disappointed.
Okay.
Was bundled out under 150 and India win and chase 320 plus. I
That
like
is
the
very
optimism,
optimism.
GGK. Hope that happens. Hope is forever eternal. We are missing Bumrah and how he used to win us games. Akash Bharadwaj saying, but we have been without Bumrah for a year now. And
Yeah.
see, in 2021, he was seriously lacking rhythm, Akash Bharadwaj, because he was coming out of an injury, I think, at that time also. So he didn't win us that ICC World Test Championship final there. 2017, underwhelmed with that no ball. 2019, he was the best bowler, but then he was negotiated. So I'm sorry, I think Bumrah needs to feature a lot more in the Indian cricket team at this point. So that is the way I look at it. So you're asking too much because Bumrah isn't there. So by the benefit of hindsight, yeah, I may say so. So the last question, GGK is saying Gavaskar said Virat plays all balls in front foot and gets out. Should we move past him now?
No, too early to make that call.
See, the WTC final, the new cycle that will come, you have to make certain tough decisions. But I think Virat doesn't feature in that because he's your best batter.
Yeah.
And let's just cut him some slack. I know the toxic fan bases in India won't allow him to rest in peace, because not in a negative way though. The toxic fan bases in India will ensure that any action that he takes is hell.
Yeah, I know. Just a few weeks ago, when Virat was doing well, everyone was like, "Oh, the king is back!" And now one bad performance, and I understand that it's a WTC final, but it's not always a perfect innings, and you can't always bat perfectly.
Yeah.
So maybe Virat will come through in the second innings.
You would hope.
We hope.
We
Again,
hope. We
like-
hope India bats first of all.
Yeah, like GGK would say, hope is eternal. And remember, Australia will now be wanting to bat 3 sessions at least.
Yeah, this one and then tomorrow's.
Tomorrow's 2.5 sessions.
Yeah.
That is the ploy that will be there, because if you get your eye in, this pitch is still good to bat on.
The
You
key
know-
is get your eye in.
Get your eye in. So, yes, we are now begun in the final session, another 2.5 hours.
Yeah, 100%, because I think
Yeah.
they're nowhere near completing the day's quota of overs.
No.
What with the innings change and so many pacers bowling. Yeah, you're 100% going till 10:30.
10:30,
So
yep.
you guys can join us then. We'll be live and of course getting updates from the Oval as
Oval
well.
also, yes. Sunil Gavaskar and Harbhajan Singh will be giving us their
Potentially, yeah.
inputs. So join us for that. In the next 2.5 hours, more sporting updates coming your way from Sports Today. Remember, a superb semi-final is on the
Djokovic
way.
Alcaraz, yeah.
With
And I think Djokovic has taken the first set.
Yes,
Yeah.
6-3, and he's currently trailing 3-4, but he's on serve.
Yes, exactly. So it looks like it's going to be a tight match. Whatever
Yes.
happens, you will get to hear it from us.
The passing of the torch match, indeed. So join us for that. Oh, that was a very, very close one. Shuman Gill and Cheteshwar Pujara hope that kind of bounce, but it didn't happen. So join us.